I've been playing Ultimate for about 5 years. I started towards the end of high school. This team, which was the Chicago team for a youth tournament, needed girls. It was a mixed team, and so I showed up and I was one of 5 girls. And as such, I got on the team. But when I got on the field for our first scrimmage at this tryout, one of the guys asked me, "Are you a cutter or a handler?" which are the 2 positions in Ultimate. And I just looked at him and realized that I was in way over my head because I had absolutely no idea what either of those 2 words meant. But I got hooked and never looked back. I heard of Ultimate Peace because my uncle and his family were involved from the beginning, and they were going to the camp Ultimate Peace this first year in 2010, and they basically said, "Hey, Danny, there's an extra spot if you want it." And I said, "Why not?" And I can't imagine my life without Ultimate Peace anymore. Well, Ultimate Peace is a week-long Ultimate Frisbee camp in the north of Israel for Arab Israeli, Jewish Israeli, and Palestinian teenagers, aged about 11 to 15. Ultimate Peace started about 10 years ago at this point. A guy named David Barkin went to Israel to play in a tournament, and they were throwing a Frisbee around on the beach, and they encountered a lot of kids who really wanted to learn how to play. So in teaching these kids on the beach how to play, David had a thought about how he could bring Ultimate into a bigger picture and how he could use it to change lives, especially in the Middle East, because the unique thing about Ultimate as a sport is that it's played without official referees. Unlike soccer or football or baseball or any other sport where there's an outside person who is calling all the shots, Ultimate is played with 7 players on either team on the field at one time, and each of them is a referee. So if somebody on one team thinks that they've been fouled as they're throwing the disc, they call a foul and they have to discuss it with their opponent. And only once the 2 of them have come to a consensus about whether or not it was a foul and how to go forward can the game go on. So built into Ultimate is this thing called Spirit of the Game, which is basically an elevated level of sportsmanship. And so it's because of Spirit that David thought that Ultimate could make a difference in the Middle East. And in a place where conflict is so prominent and where there are Arab villages and there are Jewish villages in Israel that are 10 minutes away from each other, but these kids grow up without having a single interaction ever with somebody from the other group. And as such, for the Jews, the Arabs and Palestinians are just created in their mind as something they don't know, they don't trust. And it's the same thing from the Arabs and the Palestinians back to the Jews. So with Ultimate Peace, we bring these kids in. We're up to about 14 different villages throughout Israel and the West Bank. We bring the kids in and we put them on teams. The Jews are on teams with the Arabs and Palestinians and vice versa. And what camp does is create a bridge between that cultural gap. And it provides them with the opportunity to get to know each other. It's really incredible to see because at the beginning of the week, you have these kids and they kind of stick to the people they know because they're uncomfortable and they don't know how to approach conversation and interaction with each other. But so much of their time is spent together with their team that by the end of the week, they've gotten to know each other and they've played in the hot sun all day, every day, and they've put their hearts into this team and into each other. And at the end of the week, it becomes so clear that that's what they've done and they come together. The thing about camp is that it is the most stressful time in your life because when you're with the kids during the day, it's not just you're out on the fields. You are on with every part of your being. You are on. And so you're hot and tired and exhausted, and if you're like me, you're sick every year. But it's also the most exhilarating time of your life, and you wouldn't change it for anything. Ultimate Peace for me, that's the happiest I've ever been is when I'm at camp. And when I look at these kids and how brilliant and wise beyond their years and just how incredible they are, to think that I was able to take a part in that and to have the opportunity to influence them, that gives me so much strength, and that gets me through anything.